Hi guys and welcome to another video. So today we're making the backroom thing.
Yeah.
I just started like 1 hour ago.
So you've got some code writing here. So it's the first bit you want to choose let the user choose the difficulty. I think it's working fine. When we run it, it will give whatever you have written here. The story starts, and then ask them to pick a game mode, which is our difficulty. So if they type 1, 2, or 3, we will get that print out. That's the difficulty variable here, right? So we want to map the difficulty back to the player health and something else to make it a different level, different difficulty. So what I need to teach you here is another episode, dictionary and libraries. So to make this game, we need to use those things. So dictionary is a type. In other languages, it might be called hash map, object, or array. So in different languages, they call differently. But what they do is like they are like lists, but they have you can define the index. So in the list, the index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So in the dictionary or map, the index is something you can decide. You can make it either a string or number or anything you want. So let's go here and have a look what the dictionary looks like. So basically it uses the curly brackets to define a dictionary. So the list is square brackets. So the left side is the part we call it the key, and followed by a colon, and then this is the value. So in our example here, in your game, so we want to have a dictionary of PHP,
Player sanity.
difficulty map, something like that. Let's call it this. So this map contains the key and value. The key part is whatever the user input. So the difficulty, what we get from the input is 1, 2, 3. So on the left is 1, 2, and 3. So we want those 3 from the difficulty where the user inputs. And the right side is the sanity the user will get. For example, easy difficulty, if you get 100 sanity. In normal, 50, and then maybe 20 if it's hard.
Well, I'll go for 4,200 HP for easy.
Do it by myself. That's too hard. It's too big a difference. Are you sure? Hard is so hard? You don't have to make it so hard. So we have the map, sanity difficulty map here. So this is a map. To get the value from the map, you use the map name, and then you still use square brackets, but the inside is the key. So the key is we're getting the key from the difficulty input 1, 2, 3, right? So so here, this is the player sanity basically. So just like in the document, it's this one. So the dictionary, the key, square brackets, and then you will get the value. So from the key, you get the value. So it's like a dictionary. You look up for the word, and it gives you the explanation, right? So that's why it's called dictionary. That's good enough for our game example. But something else is like you can change the value. So if you want to change the dictionary value, for example, this one, it is printing the brand, that's Ford. So if we change this brand, let's say it's Toyota, and then we print this again, it will be Toyota. So basically you can use the key equals something to change the value for that key. Okay, so that's not something we need now, but later you might need it. Okay. And also the dictionary is unique, the key. So if you have two same key, it will be override. Basically, this example here, it will just be 2020. Okay. Other things you can read by yourself on this website. Yeah. I think that's good enough for now. So just so you know, dictionary can also do loop stuff. So when you loop the thing in dictionary, it will give you the key, basically the for loop. Yeah. So you can use the key to get the dictionary value, just as we did before. I think that's good enough. And there are other functions help you. So for example, these values, it will just give you values, not the keys. Later, when you need to, you can look up here to get your. And also, dictionary, same as list, it can be nested. So inside a dictionary, there can be another dictionary, right? So I think that's good enough for dictionary. And then there are two more types that's also similar to the list and dictionary. It's called tuple and set. So
isn't it just the same link but with the last part changed?
A little bit. They can all be looped because they are all collection. They are like multiple items, right? But they are slightly different in those things. So set is basically if you just need to have multiple items in a list that's not ordered, you can use set. So the only difference is it's not ordered. So like in the list you have 0, 1, 2, 3 as an index to get the item, but in the set it's not. It's not there. So basically it's just a group of unique. It's like keys basically, like a dictionary but no value. Okay. You can add item. You can remove item, but you cannot get the thing by the index. I think the useful thing about this is you can check something is in this set, but you don't care about the order. So if you say something is in something, it will give you a true or false. And tuples, that's on the other hand, it is ordered. You can use the index number to get the items. It's very much like a list, but the difference is tuple is not changeable. So we call it an immutable type. So like list, you can use the list name and the square brackets 1, 2, 3, 4 those things to change the value, but tuple you cannot. So if there's a special case you need to use it. Otherwise, I think dictionary and the lists are the most common used ones in the language. Okay, so that's just for your knowledge. It's not something maybe useful for the game, but since we're here, we just cover this. And in the game, you will also need to use what we call casting. So this is the link to the casting document. What casting means is because from the input function, we get the input from the user, but it's always going to be a string, right? So for example, if we need to change the type of the string to something else, this is what we call casting. So casting basically is change the variable type. So for example, now we have 1, 2, 3 as the difficulty. If we want to make those user input becomes integer, we can use the int difficulty, and then it will become a number, not a string. In case we need to use it later to calculate something, then we can change it to the number. So same, you can change it to float, or you can change the number to a string. Okay, str, float, int, something like that. It's very straightforward, but you need to know if sometimes you get the type wrong, it's not going to work, right? So one last thing in the game we will need to use is other libraries. So libraries is like what we want in the game. For example, generate a random number, right? And in the New Year countdown thing, we use the date and date time library. So those are all the standard Python libraries. So apart from the grammar, the basic Python if-else, or those while loop, different types, the libraries are the major things you will need to not remember everything, but you need to learn they exist. And then when you need to use them, you need to know where to find those documentation. So this is the link to the standard Python 3 libraries. So there are a lot of those. If you do number related things, you can find those number related libraries. For example, here we need the random library. So to use it to generate a random number, right? So that's the library we need. And you can see the date time library last time we used. Yeah, there are a lot of other libraries here. When we need it, we will introduce it. But just if you ever need to find something, this is the place to find all those libraries. It will contain a lot of useful things for you in the future to use in your projects. So today we will use this random library to generate a random number. It will be very straightforward. Basically, like last time you've seen that, you import the library and then you use something inside the library. So I'll show you later in your code how to use it. Basically, the function we will use here is this one, random.randint. So it will generate an integer between the A and B you pass to it. Okay, so it will generate a random number. So if you say randint 110, it will give you a random number between 1 and 10. That's very useful today when we need to make the game. Okay, that's all for the dictionary and the libraries. And something about casting.
I might continue on the project for a while.
Yeah, we'll continue on the project now, and then we'll see where we get later. Yeah.